Okay, let's talk about something we all know a little too well: procrastination. We've all been there, we all hate it, but what if I told you that it has almost nothing to do with being lazy? We're going to dive into the real science of why we put things off, and trust me, it's not what you think.
You know the scene, right? You've got this massive project due tomorrow, but all of a sudden, organizing your bookshelf by color feels like the most critical mission on the planet. Or maybe you find yourself watching videos on how to fold a fitted sheet. Yep, we have all been there.
For years, we've just beaten ourselves up over this, right? We call ourselves lazy, we say we lack discipline, but what the science is now showing us is that procrastination isn't some kind of character flaw. It's actually a deep-seated biological response.
That's right. So, the first thing we have to do is just completely reframe the problem. This is not a moral failure, it's an emotional one.
And here is the absolute key to all of this. When you procrastinate, your brain is actually trying to protect you. That task you're dreading, maybe it's hard or boring or it makes you feel kind of insecure, your brain literally sees that as a threat. And its number one job is to get you away from threats.
So, to really get what's going on, we got to look inside your head. Because what's happening is basically a cage match between two totally different parts of your brain. In one corner, you've got the amygdala. You can think of this as your brain's ancient, primitive alarm system. It doesn't use logic, it just feels. And when it senses stress from a task, it doesn't think, it just freaks out and screams, "Danger! Get out! Do literally anything else right now." And then in the other corner, you have your prefrontal cortex. This is the more evolved, rational part of your brain. It's the CEO, the planner. This is the part that gets things like deadlines and future consequences. It's that calm voice inside that's going, "Hey, we should probably get this done." So, you see the conflict here. The amygdala wants one thing and one thing only: to feel better right now. But the prefrontal cortex is trying to play the long game. The problem is, the amygdala is tied to our ancient survival wiring. Its escape signal is just way louder and faster. So it hijacks the whole system. And in that split second, emotion wins the battle.
And here's the kicker. This battle, it doesn't just happen once. In fact, every single time the amygdala wins, it actually strengthens this really powerful, really unhelpful habit. This is how the procrastination loop gets wired into our brains.
It's a simple four-step process. First, you feel the discomfort of the task. That's the trigger. Then comes the avoidance. You open up Instagram, you go get a snack. That gives you instant relief, a nice little hit of a chemical called dopamine. And this is the most critical part. Your brain learns, hey, when I avoid that thing, I feel good. That reward reinforces the whole loop, making you even more likely to do it next time.
So if we just follow the science, it leads us to a completely new diagnosis for our procrastination problem, and it has absolutely nothing to do with productivity apps.
This quote from researchers at the University of Sheffield just says it perfectly. Procrastination is a failure of emotion regulation, not time management. I mean, wow. It's not that you're bad at managing your time, it's that you're struggling to manage your emotions about a task. Just let that sink in for a second. All those productivity hacks, the fancy planners, the apps, for a lot of us, they don't work because they're solving the wrong problem. You're trying to fix a calendar issue when what you're really dealing with is an emotional coping issue. Okay, so that's the science. That's the problem. But what do we actually do about it? Well, the good news is, once you understand the real cause, you can start using strategies that actually work, that help your rational brain finally win that battle. First things first, we have to throw out the old question. Asking, how can I be more productive, usually just makes us feel more guilty and more stressed, which, guess what? It only makes your amygdala scream even louder. It's the wrong way in. Instead, you need to start asking this. You have to become a detective of your own feelings. Get curious. What is it you're actually trying to avoid? Is it boredom? Is it the fear of failing? Maybe you're just feeling resentful about the task. The second you can name that emotion, you take away its power. You go from being a victim of the feeling to just an observer of it. And from there, you've got two really powerful moves. First, just start small, like ridiculously small. Tell yourself you're only going to work on it for 2 minutes. The goal isn't to finish it, the goal is just to start. And second, reframe it. Instead of, I have to write this whole report,
Try, I'm just going to open the document and write one sentence. Turn, I have to clean the entire house into, I'm just going to put these 3 dishes in the dishwasher. You make it less scary for your brain. And here's the beautiful reason this actually works. The moment you take that tiny little first step, you prove to your amygdala that this task is not in fact going to kill you. The alarm bells stop ringing, that emotional storm starts to pass, and that allows your rational brain, your prefrontal cortex, to finally get in the driver's seat. So maybe the ultimate goal here isn't to become some perfect non-procrastinating robot. Maybe it's just to get better at listening to what our brain is trying to tell us. Procrastination isn't a sign that you're lazy or broken. It's just a signal. It's a big, flashing arrow pointing right at an emotion you haven't dealt with. And the real question is, what happens when you start dealing with that emotion instead of just fighting the behavior?